You're listening to the Premier Podcast Network. Welcome to the pinnacle of wrestling entertainment, Premier Streaming Network. Join us at watchonpremier.com to unlock the ultimate wrestling experience. Curated to perfection. Immerse yourself in the spectacular world of wrestling history, where classic battles and unforgettable moments are at your fingertips. Join us today and experience the epitome of curated wrestling content. Because when it comes to wrestling entertainment, Premier sets the standard. Be Premier.
Hey, whoa, everybody. This is Dominic, DeAngelo. It looks like I'm in witness protection this week, but I am not. I am at my hometown in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. But I am also here on the Premier Streaming Network, and I'm happy to be here yet again with Mr. Rob Van Dam. Mr. Monday Night. We're recording on Thursday night. But Rob, good to see you again, man.
Right on, dude. Good to be me. So you you telling me that's the way they dress in Ridgeway?
That's oh yeah, bohunk. Total bohunk, kind of like.
That's your excuse?
Yeah, that's my excuse. Pennsyltucky. This is the Pennsyltucky line we got going on right now. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Welcome home, bro.
Hey, thanks, man. It's good to be back. It's a small town, middle of nowhere. 2.5 hours away from Pittsburgh, 2.5 hours away from Erie. I don't know if ECW's gonna been up this way. They might have been. I know WWE was back here. We're in the mid '90s, but that was it. So, don't know. But cool, man. Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting. How's everything been with you? Anything else new happening outside of wrestling for you, or what's been your weekend?
Outside of wrestling, some acting gigs thrown on the table that are being discussed. Working on some stuff around the house. Feeling, what day is it? Oh, you know what? I forgot. I'm doing stand-up Saturday.
No shit, really? Oh,
forgot it. Yeah, I'll wait till Friday or Saturday, and then I'll write like a 10-minute set and go up and do it. It's a place called Wise Guys. Hopefully they got mafia pictures and stuff in there, you know.
In Vegas, I take it?
Yeah. So it's in the art district. It's an actual theater, not like a bar where people aren't going to be paying attention. And but it's cool. I haven't been inside, I don't think. So looking forward to checking the venue out, and should be fun. But I have a lot going on my mind. And that's how stress affects me, is just like I start getting like short term, you know, like, wait, what day is this? I've done that so many times today. Yeah. I want to make sure not miss garbage today, because it'll be the third week in a row. And the garbage just smells so bad that it's out in the driveway.
Right. It's just like piling on up.
Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes it's because we're traveling and stuff, you know, that I miss that. But anyway, yeah, got some other stuff that I won't be able to tell you about until it's settled. But it involves giving a deposition coming up, and it weighs on my mind because someone's trying to extort me.
No shit, holy smokes.
We'll talk about that when I can.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. Totally makes sense. Now, when it comes to like stuff like stand-up comedy or anything like filming or anything like that, do you kind of get like the actor's nightmare thing going on? Does that happen to you? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so the actor's nightmare is when you have a dream and like it's this consistent thing of like, oh, you have a show coming up and you don't know any of your lines or you don't know anything coming up, and like it's like literally like you're about to go on stage and stuff like that, or it's like just the day before or something like that. Do you ever have those kind of dreams that were like coming up when you have like a big show, whether it was wrestling or anything else, where it's just like,
it's also my real life though. I mean, those are my I'm not just dreaming. That's always
that shit's real, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always like damn, I didn't go over my parts yet. And I got, man, maybe I can do it while I'm in wardrobe changing. Let me look at my lines and for the first time. And I suck. But yeah, same thing with stand up. Sometimes I'm on stage and once in a while I'll just blank and completely forget what I was going to say. And then a joke might pop in my head. And I'm like, oh, man, why'd that one? I don't want to have to go to that. That one's old. I'm sick of that one. Like, what was I going to say? Then I'm like, well, I better come up with something quick here. People are starting to stare.
Now, did wrestling kind of help you with that too? Like when you're being on stage and that, and like kind of relying on yourself to, whether it cut a promo or just being put on the spot at a public appearance or something like that. When you do,
yeah. It overall, it's just experience, and experience makes you more comfortable to commit. That's what it is. That's why it's so hard at first, because it's hard to commit to feelings and commit to decisions, that you got to make. And even in articulating things, but that's what it is mostly. And then being comfortable is key. That's everything. So when I go out in front of the crowd, I mean, it's like there's no reason for me to be all tense and nervous. It's like we're all in a room here,
Right. It's second nature to you at this point too, when you're doing all this kind of thing,
Yeah. Although when I'm not entertaining, then I'm the quiet guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not. If I'm doing stand up, it's because I'm going to prepare a set that I think is funny in my head, and then I'm going to want to deliver it and get that gratification, that I visualized, and get that message out there and say what I want to say. And if it's wrestling, kind of same thing on a different level, but if it's me and you and we're in the bar, if people aren't recognizing me and making a big deal about me being there, my head's down. I'm happy to be there, but there's no part of me that says, hey, I need everyone's attention right now.
Right.
I don't even get out on the dance floor. Like I don't even understand how dancing is supposed to be fun, but that's like a whole nother subject probably. But for me, it would seems like it would be about trying to get attention or have people look at me. I don't know, dude.
It's a different animal. I need a couple in me to start.
I drive basic cars, always have.
Yeah.
I get enough attention, as my job. So when I'm not working, then I'm off.
Yeah, right. That's your downtime kind of thing. So.
Unless you need me, to give you a eulogy or something like that. But.
Right. You get those on Cameo, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we got some good feedback here this week, and you've seen some of it, I'm sure, because I saw some of your comments on YouTube.
Is that where you get all the feedback from?
That's where I get a lot of the feedback from. Is from your YouTube page. Is that?
And then where else does Premiere have a place for comments? Or?
So I looked. They do not have a comment thing.
Okay.
So be interesting to kind of see how else. I'll have to try to look at maybe like iTunes. I haven't really looked at iTunes in the comment section or anything. Like I know they don't have comment section. I know they do the ratings though, and maybe they have something there for that. But and this week too, I forgot. I have them screenshotted so I can just post them right up on here. Let's see here. Okay, so this was a cool one. Justice Force says, if RVD put out a book on his flexibility routine, I'd buy it. Have you ever kind of thought about doing like a workout book or something like that?
Yeah, of course I have over the years. More like a video, but I have floated around a few different platforms in my head of trying to really explain what I'm doing and what's going on inside my head and body when I stretch. And I'm sure it's been at least 20 years since I've wanted to do that, and I have never found a way yet to actually explain it, and I've tried. I've over the years I've shot different. I've had camera crews and I've shot like by the ocean, and I filmed my routine a few times, and for a demo or something. Most notable because when I was stretching way back in '92, December 92 to May of 93, I was in WCW, and a gentleman saw me stretching. Of course, I'm always the only one that really stretches hard in the dressing room, and he noticed, that I wasn't getting hurt, taking all these bumps, and he said there must be something to stretching. So he started stretching, and then made an entire empire out of DDP yoga.
Whoa! So how about that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So DDP was going to distribute my stretch video if I could put it together. I went to his production studios in Atlanta. Man, sometimes years fly by. So I'm going to guess this might have been 10 years ago. I don't know. How do you know? How do you know when I did that?
Because I started doing DDP yoga back in 10 years ago. So I'm like,
yeah. Well, he'd been around for a while. Matter of fact, he'd already been on Shark Tank. But anyway, it was before Katie, and she's been like 7 years already. So probably about that. But I went to his production studios for this. Oh, I know. It was when I broke my foot. That was in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact.
So 7 years ago or so.
Okay, yeah. How about that?
I was wrong.
Me too. I tried to put Stevie Richards through my stretch routine.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was just going to be like a practice, like him and DDP and his partner, Alex. They were trying to tell me about, to get used to it, and I figured too, like maybe if I could like instruct a class through it and stuff. But it's so like it's a contrast to even talk while I'm doing it. And so for that's a big problem. So I'd have to add the audio separately. And I thought about just showing me going through the whole thing, maybe adding some CGI graphics to show which muscles I'm working on when I'm talking, and add the audio later. And that's what I had in mind at that time. But I got to say, man, with positioning and direction and where to lean your weight and how to breathe and which muscles to flex to use as your spotter and which muscles to relax to so that you can thereby stretch them with your weight, and then little turns and then little leans, and then there's so much going on. And even to get your muscle to relax when you're trying to stretch takes a long time, because your muscle wants to contract and protect itself when you're trying to elongate it. Anyway, dude, I've decided it might not happen. It might just be something for me. I don't know.
Yeah, all the details about it, so it's like
just like weed, man. I don't necessarily need to profit on weed, man. I just want it to be free.
Right? Yeah.
More accessible for people who want it, need it.
Well, so in your routine and typical, is it something that could be applicable to anybody too, like of any kind of, obviously without some certain physical limitations, but like could somebody that wants to get back in shape be like, oh, I could apply this in certain ways, almost like what DDP does?
I don't know. I don't know how DDP even does it, because I would have thought that things like arthritis would limit you because of your range of motion. Not just the bone spurs and pain that come along with it, but during his movie when he resurrected Jake the Snake, he worked through that, and I was talking to him about that, and he's kind of got me convinced that you can stretch and really work on arthritis and grind it up even, and if it's like blocking your range. And so I think he's kind of proven it by what he's done. So I would say, hey, go check that other guy's stuff out. Stretching for me is about flexibility. It's about being at my full range, my mobility, being at my, also knowing my body, my mind-body connection to that level, to where, I've gone through it in several positions from head to toe, checking back and forth. It's a spiritual thing as well. But DDP, man, even that first guy that he got that was so heavy, you wore knee leg braces. Yeah, Arthur. Mm-hmm. And then, after a while, he's running sprints and standing on his head. And I can't do that. No.
No, right. But no, I was a happy customer. I love the DDP yoga program and DDPY it's now called. But yeah, it was great. I got in the best shape of my life like 10 years ago when I did that. So got to pick it back.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was there, I went through his class, with him instructing, and he had no mercy on me. I had just broken my foot, and he didn't care. Like, we're doing planks, and I'm, after a while, I was kind of cheating and kind of being on one knee or something, and and he's on the microphone in front of everyone. Rob, let's go, get up on them toes.
Come on, bro.
Like, damn, he wants me to work right through it right now.
Yeah.
Just broke it the day before too.
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of wrestlers that do it though. I know. Jericho. Who else? There's been plenty. Darby Allin. A lot of guys go through there. Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, a whole bunch of people.
We love DDP. He's a fitness guru, and he's helped a lot of people. He's helping Scotty Riggs right now.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. And hey, we got to comment on him this week too. Yeah. Yep. Big fan of Scotty Riggs, says James XX4KB. Thought he was underutilized as a talent, but always enjoyed his work. I agree. Like, it was cool to see him in the flock as a member, but I was like, I want to see a little bit more Scotty. As a kid, I was just that's all I knew him as. So it's pretty neat.
That was one thing. That was one thing that was cool about ECW is I was able to have some singles matches with some guys and really pull out what I'd like to think are some of their best matches.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a good one this week too, by the way.
Jerry Lynn, by the way, was one of those that kept going, but he could have been a very short match, and instead we pulled out what we could out of each other.
Oh man, I'm feeling some synchronicity here this week, Rob. Feeling it. All right, and also, so this is Dan Master's brother that message on YouTube. He said,
"Oh, cool,
Dan Master's brother. Thank you for all the kind words. Brings back so many memories. He loved y'all and the business. I'm sure he's looking down, smiling. So, very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yep. And then Rob, one of the ones that got a lot of comments and that you kind of engaged with too was on the anger video of RVD. And so I took a short one here, but somebody wrote out a huge letter about it. So SJ Goodies 6590. Rob, you make so much sense. Anger is so exhausting. It's such a waste of energy. I'm working on it. Your podcast is the best. You said thank you.
Yeah, there was a lot of good. For us, a lot.
Yeah. We're moving.
There was pairs and pairs of comments that.
Right, pairs and pairs.
But yeah, they were all good. They were all appreciative of the talk on anger. So that felt very, very good, very validating.
Absolutely, man. It's been good stuff. It's cool to see like how many people are, and just the select comments too. It's just like seeing all those already. It's like you're making an impact on people. So pretty damn sweet, man.
Yes, sir. Cool.
Yep. Well, I got to ask the weekly question here. Did you watch any wrestling this week?
Didn't watch any wrestling this week.
No problem about that. I barely did too. I actually caught up on AEW Collision after a while, but that was it. What I wanted to do too, some part of the feedback, a lot of people have been commenting on the Mike Awesome video too. And they've had their kind of like, I would love to have seen Rob mix it up with this person and this person. And there's like a whole list of people I wrote down. I'm only going to do one I think maybe throughout the weeks here, maybe I'll just pop a name up and see how you think you would work with this person if it ever ended up coming to be. So somebody in the comments on the Mike Awesome video said, I'll start with Bret Hart. How would you think you would have worked with Bret Hart if you guys ended up mixing it up together?
So I love Bret, and in my opinion, he's definitely one of the very, very, very best, if not the best, arguably maybe the best that I've seen. But I also know that he prides himself for never hurting anybody in the business.
Yeah.
I don't really have that same claim. Shut up, doggies. Shut up. Petrie and
Petrie making a run in.
Barbie's the one usually barking. I don't have that same claim. I've actually heard a lot of people. And I'm not proud of that. But as proud as Bret is of enough to say that he probably wouldn't like being kicked by me. I'm thinking maybe. I mean, I don't know. I got trained very snug, and then went to Japan and got trained to be even snugger. And so, a lot of people say that they don't find me excessive at all during our matches, but I would be on my very best behavior with the Hitman. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Out of respect, but I just don't know that he wouldn't be like, wow, dude.
You guys could tell a good ring psychology story, though. I know that much.
Yeah,
you're able to handle that out. Yeah.
Rick's the same way, by the way. Flair, he says that he's never hurt anybody. I heard that claim sometime, and whenever I'm in the ring with him, he makes a huge deal about it. He's like, he acts like I'm a sledgehammer, and we always joke about it. That really big black dude that's on Monday Night Raw, the really tall one.
Almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At WrestleMania, I guess it was last year, we happened to all be like by the bar, and Rick was just like, "Oh no, don't kick me" or something, and then he said, "You," and he pointed to Osmos, and he said, "You." He said like you. He said, "You don't understand. He'll kick harder than you will," and just to make a joke,
Yeah, right. Oh, Rick's got that good sense of timing, comedic timing.
Yeah, and I've also had the incentive to let Rick know that I'm in there with them.
Right. Right. You gotta prove your medal there. No doubt about that. So yeah, okay. So I'll hold the rest off for later for upcoming episodes. I think that might be cool to kind of touch upon each week a little bit. I gotta ask, have you seen Blue Kane on Twitter at all? Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So there's I didn't put the picture up.
Maybe.
I did put the picture up. Blue Kane, here he is.
Is it just okay?
It's just some dude dressed like Kane, but in blue.
I think I've seen that maybe.
Okay. Well, apparently, starting today, he got suspended from Twitter. So I think WWE's finally cracking down on Blue Kane. Yeah.
Okay. Was he getting some steam?
He was getting some big steam. Yes, he was getting super. People were like making references to him all the time. He was definitely engaging on social media. I think the hammer got laid down on Blue Kane.
Now he's like, follow me on my new Instagram.
Right, I'm on Threads or whatever it's called. I'm on Threads. How was it working with Kane, the actual Kane? Because you guys were an odd couple tag team pairing in a lot of ways, and it was kind of neat to see you guys together.
Yes, we were. It was cool. It was fun because I really like Kane. And it's always amazed me that he's been there for so long, but doesn't seem to be scorched at all, or even slightly burnt or browned even by the business. He seems to remain super cool. And anyway, that goes a long way. And I liked the contrast. I liked it when he would pick a guy up for a choke slam, but he'd pick him up with both hands like he was choking him, and I would jump off the top rope and kick the guy in the face while he's holding him by his throat. I like doing that. That was fun.
I love the odd couple tag team pairing. Whenever they do that stuff, it's like I don't know. I don't even call it a guilty pleasure, because I think it's a cool aspect of wrestling. Yeah. Is like guys you don't expect to work together are working together as a team. So, and yeah, you and Kane.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't remember how it started.
No, I don't either, to be honest, but I liked it.
Kane was there, I think, the first night that we came into Raw when we invaded and did the Van Terminator for the first time.
No shit.
In Atlanta. I think Kane was think Kane was there to eat that Van Terminator, and afterwards I was like, man, I should have tried the ropes a little bit more. I would have got higher.
That's right. It's different.
Yeah, they were a little different. I didn't get on the ropes earlier. But he's always been a really cool dude.
Nice, man. Yeah.
I like teaming with him better than wrestling him, because when I wrestled him, I just felt like I was just his whooping boy. Like that's what it felt like, as far as gee, what are we doing tonight? Oh yeah, that again. All right, that's cool.
Hey, whatever, Gee.
Because when you try to protect the direction of the strength and the value, that's what wrestling's so weird. If you try to protect the value, then whether you go up or down does matter. If you go down, get beat every single night for 5 months, well, what good did that do you? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so even though you got to be ready to adjust to whatever the job calls for, it's also something that you have some feelings attached to, unless you especially if you're trying to do something. I mean, unless you identify with just being an enhancement talent, which is something different. Those guys way more in the past, but those guys were just around, happy for the experience, happy to thrilled, to get beat by a superstar, and that's hey, that was Matt Byrne, except Matt Byrne wasn't thrilled, but he was an enhancement.
Whatever happened to that guy?
No one ever knows.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery, man. It's a mystery. Some other aspects before we get to the spotlight, the wrestler spotlight, which I love this week. So Jim Cornette got in a bit of a feud with Matt Hardy online, and Jim Cornette's one of the names that's been very outspoken about AEW and stuff. But I kind of wanted to. I don't know. I've never gotten kind of you guys crossing paths before. What's your thoughts on Jim Cornette, just in general as a manager and just in the business? Have you had interactions with him too?
Very, very little interactions. When we did that, the Raw, Mr. Monday Night Invasion angle, we were jumping some fences, and that was the idea. So we went to, I think, USWA. We did go to Smoky Mountain for like one time. I think we just ran in, and I don't know if we had a match, if we just like ran in and left everybody laying. I can't remember what happened, but and then as part of that deal for that, then Jim came to Philly, and appeared there. Whichever happened first, I don't know, but that's about it. My opinion of him is that I agree with a lot of what he says. The beliefs that are behind what he says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's old school, and I'm old school, and so my fundamentals. At least 8 out of 10 times, I feel like I agree with him. The cliche adjectives and not, he does the word prop game. Like that's that. That I usually don't laugh too hard at that. He's hornier than a
right. Those ones
from Texas. What like whatever. That's his whole gimmick. Always has been. And once in a while, if I don't agree with them, then it stands out. I'll be like, wow, that's twice now I can remember. I can't remember what it was right now, but yeah, quite often I have a similar opinion.
I hear about that a lot too. Like I was just in the recording with Kev Nash this in the past podcast, and he mentioned too how
cheating on me.
A little bit. Just on the social media side of things.
Tell him I said hi.
I definitely will. I'll let him know. But he mentioned too how he was in TNA when he was in TNA, and him and Cornette were there at the same time, and he would be a lot of the times he would hear what Cornette says and be like, you know what, I kind of agree with him in a certain way. So it's like a lot of veterans feel that way. Kurt Angle feels that way too. A lot of
Yeah.
too. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, and a lot of it, I could explain to the wrestlers, but I'd have to be like in a seminar or something. I don't know why I would tell the public everything that I would tell them. Like that's I don't see the value in that. But I feel like a lot of them grew up watching us, but they didn't have our hands-on training, and so because of that, there's some stuff missing that's obvious to us, but maybe it just stays missing and we just go past it. I don't know.
I know, it's like that's kind of what I'm thinking is gonna kind of happen in a lot of ways. A lot of people, you mentioned that before, how a lot of people, you got the foundation like from the Sheik and stuff, and you and Sabu both, but a lot of these guys, they see what they see on television, and then they mimic it and be like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and then a lot of them don't get the proper training, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. I think
it becomes what they thought it was when they were fans that thought they were smart, and then that becomes what it is, because that's a good way to look at it.
It is, absolutely. All right, it's time for the wrestler spotlight, and this is going to be one of my favorites because it's kind of a full circle thing here, Rob. So this week we're talking who you mentioned earlier, Mr. Jerry Lynn.
Hey.
Yeah. And so what's really neat about this, Rob, is he was my first ever pro wrestling interview with Jerry Lynn. And so
really nice.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was back in 2018 at StarCast 1. So I remember I was working at WrestleZone at the time, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go around and try to start getting interviews. And so they had like a big row of people there. And the first one up there was Jerry Lynn, and I talked to him for like 5 minutes. Maybe it was only 2 minutes, but he was the nicest guy I could ever imagine, and like it was a good way to start off like the whole thing with me. So, and here,
good guy,
yeah.
super dude.
I always sing his praises now too, man.
We weren't even friends when we started working with each other. We just Scotty Anton was actually the mutual friend, the common denominator there. Yeah, I knew he was a friend of Scotty's, and I liked that. I liked his wrestling style. I don't know if he'd wrestled Sabu at that point or not on WCW. Time wise, I can't remember which happened first, but anyway. We built our relationship through having those outstanding matches, and that's why a lot of it is so good, because it was competitive in a way that you couldn't mimic by being two brothers that grew up together, and I don't mean that specifically for anybody. I'm just saying, like, that's like Sabu, the way Sabu put it. He used to say that he and I kind of cheated by having great matches because we trained together, came up together, and have wrestled each other the most out of anyone else that we're going to wrestle. So he used to say that's kind of cheating. Well, with me and Jerry Lynn, didn't even know each other at all, and went out there and then tore it up, and then went back at it, and then topped it. So it was like that.
How about that? And so did you guys first meet in WCW then? Did you cross?
No, check this out. I was wondering if I was going to tell that story. So this was the Soma days, for me back before I knew how dangerous they were. And I would eat Somas sometimes. And one of those times would be when I'm on an airplane trying to sleep. So I got on the airplane. I think it was Value Jet, which thank God they're not around anymore. They sucked so bad, dude. They were always late. I think they were based out of Atlanta. They were always late, changing gates, sometimes 3 or 4 gates each time. They were so bad before Spirit Air, but way worse. Way worse stuff. But anyway, I got on the airplane, and Jerry was sitting much more towards the front, so I passed him on the way to the back, like that's where I met him. Hey, Jerry, what's up, dude? Good to meet you. Scotty says Good stuff about you. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. I went back there to the back in my seat, and I apparently took some somas so that I could take a nap on the airplane. And I thought that I would eat some cereal that the stewardess, flight attendant handed out to help kick in the somas. And Jerry thought he'd come back and talk to me.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, we're up at 30,000 feet. We got some time to kill. He's like, I'm going to see what's up with Rob. He came back there and saw me trying to get the spoon in my mouth when I was relaxed. And that motherfucker ended up feeding me.
No shit.
First time I met him, he's feeding me Fruit Loops or something, and I'm going, blah blah blah. Yeah, that was the. So I don't know what our conversation would have entailed. You know, at that point, what we could have possibly talked about when he came back there. But yeah, man, nice dude. He took over the spoon right away.
Well, geez, you're talking about how you guys had chemistry in the ring. There it is right there. It just started with the cereal feeding.
Well, I mean, I don't know if my timing was all right, but he was able to match it.
He got it lined up.
Yeah.
He got it lined up. All right, yeah. So in the early 1990s, he got some attention for a series of matches with the Lightning Kid, also known as X-Pac, in the GWF. Did you ever see any of those matches he had with Sean? And
I did.
Did you? What'd you think of those?
I liked him. You know, I figured that we were all like kind of on the same path, like 1, 2, 3, or Lightning Kid and Jerry Lynn and me and Sabu. Like we were all what the industry was calling high flyers. You know, that were representing a lighter weight class and more aerial moves, and we were all kind of like coming up at the same time.
Yeah. Well, as we're recording right now, too, it's actually Sean Waltman's birthday today.
It's happy birthday!
Yeah. Sean's great. What did you think of Sean growing up? Well, growing up with him in the industry, but then working with him too eventually at some point. Or did you did work with him, right?
Yeah. The first time I remember meeting him was when I was in WWE in 2001. I had a match that he was in. I think it was maybe a 6-man. Otherwise, maybe it was a tag match. Might have been me and someone against him and Tajiri. I think maybe it was that match where Tajiri said, shorter better, and really and taught me the wisdom that I would soon learn. But afterwards, I think I don't know if I talked to him before that. I don't feel like I did. And he ended up driving me to the hotel afterwards because I had a concussion. And he was trying to be nice, you know, and drove my car. And then I guess his boys drove a different car and then picked him up after he dropped me off my hotel. It's almost a distant memory. It was so long ago, and I was concussed.
Right, that's another thing.
But I think that was the first day that I remember meeting him.
Man, yeah, no, it's and it's kind of neat, and you mentioned it too, because when I started studying up a little bit more on wrestling and stuff, and getting to learn of the GWF and stuff, Jerry Lynn was the name. And then Sean Waltman was the name, and like Sabu, and then you guys were on all that groundswell of like the new generation of talent kind of coming up that still had the wrestling aspect of it all, but added another spin to it too. So kind of neat.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else was around right then that I used to wrestle a lot, but a lot of times it would be us against one of the old timers or big guys to show to show our stuff.
Yeah, you're working in your realm.
We hadn't seen like Lucha Libre or anything yet at that point because our TVs didn't go that far.
Right? Yeah.
We didn't have the internet.
Nope. So how did you think Jerry fit in the ECW when he got there? You said in the past about Lance Storm at the time that you didn't see what was extreme about him, but you later understood that why he was there. Did you think Jerry would be a good fit with ECW?
I don't remember having an opinion on him before I wrestled him, other than I thought he was a good wrestler from seeing him at Global or whenever I had seen him. I knew that he was a flyer, like to move a lot like me. I knew that he was going to be a guy that liked to do a lot of fast paced action. And so that's really all I knew. And before our first match that we had in Philly, the powers to be thought that I should just kind of beat him,
Yeah.
no longer than 8 minutes.
Wow, really?
I said, I don't know, because I didn't like going short anyway. You know what I mean? Like at that time, it was important for me to give everything I had to the fans, and I really did. So when I said I was the whole effing show, I wanted to do everything I could to back that up. So I wanted to bust my ass, so that even if the other 9 matches before mine were so, I wanted to be able to connect with the crowd, rock with the crowd if I could. That was a challenge I put on myself. I wanted them to I wanted to know that they were going to go home being like, yeah, that was the best time. And hopefully not just because of me, but I mean, I put that on myself, that I wanted to do my soul part through the most I could, as if it did all depend on me. And so I didn't want to go out there and show 2 new moves I came up with since the last TV or something, because that's kind of what I was doing at that time, like,
yeah.
How about a springboard off the guardrail into a flying, one-legged kick, whatever. It was just, I just thought that was not the right call,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
8 minutes. I don't know, man. I think I can pull something out of this guy. And then 20 some minutes later, I finally beat him after a bit of a battle, and I had a bloody nose. Was pulling splinters out of my ass. My outfit was ripped, and I loved that. I didn't want an easy. I didn't want short to a better. That wasn't until years later when I was broke. The WWE broke me by paying me more for shorter and not wanting longer, and just being a cog in the wheel instead of being able to do, like I said, and having the freedom to be able to do my part and do everything I could within my power, that once that's taken from you, then it's like, well, fuck, if I don't have the power to do nothing about it, then yeah, short the better. Short the better.
Okay. No, and I think that's oh my God. Yeah, to that point, like right at the height of ECW going right now, you're the TV champ too. When you have your match with Jerry, it's like, yeah, why would you want to limit that kind of thing? You want to showcase all that stuff. So.
Yeah, and it turns out, that we just we really clashed really well. It's not all everything wasn't just super smooth zen like we're 2 peas in a pod. Not even when it came to ideas and even just he was just, I think we're both stubborn in our belief systems, and so sometimes there would be not like a difference of an opinion, but a lot of times an added on twisted version, adaption, educated version, and so it was like that kind of stuff was cool. And it came out, and talking with the guy, and it comes out, still does, and it's and it comes out with our body language and with our matches.
No doubt about it, yeah. And man, seeing your guys' old matches too, it's like you can immediately see it. So who did like Jerry hang out with backstage while he was at ECW? Was it like, did he kind of hang with you guys, or was he almost like a Tommy Dreamer in certain ways where he could kind of mesh with anybody? Or
I think that he hung out with Lance Storm, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I don't know. For some reason, I can picture him hanging out with Axel a little bit too, but I'm not really sure. Jerry wasn't like into partying heavy like a lot of the cliques were in their different ways.
Right.
But he liked, and still does. I'm talking about him like, we talking about him back then, but he likes like really heavy music that's like that mosh pit stuff. Mm-hmm. He likes that kind of stuff. So that's for him. That's partying. He used to go in the mosh sometimes, like during those matches in between and stuff. Around that time, when we'd be, hey, what'd you do? Oh, I went to this concert and jumped in the mud. Like, dude, how do you like? There's like people are swinging at each other. I don't get that.
Dude.
Like,
my buddy went into a mosh pit when I was in Philly, and I was like, how the fuck are you doing that? Like, I saw him from a distance. Like, there is no way I would talk about getting concussed. That would have been me, 100%.
They fight and act like they're not fighting, but I was trying to swing and hit somebody, but then trying to act like it's random.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's funny you say that too, but like Jerry looks like he would be that type of guy to do it, but his personality doesn't fit that. You know what I mean?
Right, but I think that's for a lot of people. Like, I think people that aren't necessarily dominant or whatever work out their frustrations in those kind of environments, like a kind of like the Fight Club, when it's like normal people like going there to rage, and then they're happy to be beat up or to win, either way. I don't know, something like that, maybe
something to that effect.
And then every once in a while, an asshole will come stumbling through, doing like spinning back fists after roundhouse spinning back, wham, and then just nail somebody and just like keep on going like they didn't even notice.
Right. Somebody ruined it.
That's not for me.
No way. Yeah. No way. So you and Jerry had a lot of classic matches, obviously, in ECW. Is there any ones that like certainly stand out for you when you guys had matches together?
Well, I mean, I remember that first one. We were just talking about it. I remember what I was wearing. I think I was wearing the Tommy Dreamer November to Remember outfit when I took that pile driver, if I'm not mistaken, with the Red Dragon on there. Tan outfit. Well, I mean, spots more than whole matches. I don't know necessarily. Sure. I mean, I always think it was Poughkeepsie, but I have been told that I'm not right about this. But I think it's Poughkeepsie where I kicked him off the top rope, and he went down, and on his way down, his hand like pushed the mat away, so his head bounced off the cement, and he knocked himself out.
Holy shit!
Oh, you don't even know about that. A lot of people know about that.
Oh, holy smokes. Okay, so let's see.
He's crouched on the top rope.
Yeah.
I did the flying sidekick to him, and his foot kind of got hooked. But when he went down, the way he went to break his fall with his hands, it separated the fucking man, and he just like he knocked himself out, and he had a huge goose egg there. So that sticks out in my mind. Yeah. And I remember Hammerstein Ballroom because I just got back from Thailand, and I was jacked
on up.
To that 2001, and when I had my tiger striped outfit, and I was just like, dude, that's when I just felt undefeatable. But I knew the company was defeatable.
Yeah, you were aware of that as an aspect of it all.
Yeah, it was done.
Yeah,
but I wasn't.
No, you were cooking just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned that about the favorite series of moves and spots. Yeah, here's a cool one that YouTube Chris put up. What do you feel is the ECW legacy of RVD, or is it Jerry?
Explain to me what legacy actually means.
So kind of like the historical kind of impact that it left on there and what it meant for ECW, I think that's how I would interpret legacy, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what?
And what it meant for you too, I guess. Maybe both of you guys. You know, how yeah. What did that rivalry? I'll rephrase it in that aspect. What did that rivalry mean to you?
The rivalry? Oh,
yeah,
of Jerry Lynn?
Yeah.
It just in the ECW legacy, or just in
I would say let's go from a career legacy as your career for your career. I think that would be good.
Well, I'm very proud of those matches. You know, I think that Jerry and I actually came out of the series better wrestlers than we were before, because, you know, we were keeping each other sharp and trying to always outdo what was done last, and it was just it was awesome. And so wait, what was the question? My legacy. So you know, I'm proud of those matches. They're standard setters, and I don't know how many of my matches could be considered standard setters for the whole industry. Maybe many, maybe only the RVD Jerry matches. I don't know. I don't know if that's for me to decide, but these definitely are, because afterwards people have, you know, always wanted to do an RVD Jerry Lynn style of wrestling or matches with me. And I'm like, you know, it ain't going to be the same, but I get what you mean. You mean you want to go, you know, so.
Yeah. And no, I think, you know, when we were in Pittsburgh, I remember several fans that would come up to you and be like, "Oh, I remember when you wrestled Jerry Lynn here at the shithole Ross Draver Icy Card." So
yeah, so who knows how many times I wrestled him?
Right, exactly. Well, cool. So kind of fittingly enough, it's time for the Rob Randam match. YouTube Chris picked this one out. Not so random, but let's see if you can get. Oh, do I have the picture up? Let me see if I got it real quick. But let me see here. Do I have it? Oh, I do have it somewhere. Here it is. Okay, cool. All right. So, Rob, take a look at this singlet, and let me guess. You guess who your opponent was for this one.
Well,
there's some synchronicity here.
Synchronicity. No, I was thinking that it was a different outfit that I had with the Tommy Dreamer match, but now I think it's this one. Or was this a Jerry Lynn match? Well,
you nailed it, man. It's a Jerry Lynn match. We're talking about that one, your first match.
The first one. I got ripped in. And, yeah.
Yep. So this one took place, I believe, YouTube Chris told me August 15th. Yes, it was August 15th. I watched it right before we started recording here.
What year?
1998.
98, okay.
1998. And it was a hardcore TV match. It was the main event. Trying to think who else was on there, who opened. I know there was a segment between Lance Storm and Chris Candido that opened the thing. But, yeah. So, yeah, it's this Jerry Lynn match. You were only 4 months into your TV title reign at this point. How did you kind of, at this point, are you pretty much feeling like, okay, momentum's picking up for me. I'm feeling pretty good as the champ.
Hell yeah. Dude, momentum's picking up like I'm on a water slide, dude.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crowd is loving it, you know what I mean? And it's just like every weekend seems better than the weekend before. Yeah. Outdoing myself. Feeling great, connecting with the crowd more and more, connecting with the bigger crowd more and more. ECW was growing a lot during this point. And so that was a lot of the applause as well. You know what I mean? Like taking that in, watching us go from, sometimes we'd go from a smaller shitty building to maybe like a little nicer building down the street. Or even just drawing more, and that was cool. Like in Chicago, we did that. What did we do? Raven Night, Odium, I think, and then whatever it was. But all that was good, though.
Oh, yeah, I bet, man. I bet, and like, yeah, feeling that heat and coming on up, it's like, and then you seeing the results of it too. Like, not only the crowd reaction, but what you're saying, the house is getting bigger and stuff like that. It's got to be pretty damn rewarding at that point.
And of course, the people were into that already seen that RVD versus Jerry Lynn was the best wrestling they'd ever seen before. So they were already, excited that that's going to happen there in front of them. And so, just like always, that's a lot to live up to. And that's what I loved about it.
The expectations are high. I can exactly see why when I watched this match. I was like, immediately I saw the chemistry between you two. And like the presence that Jerry even had in the ring starting off, and then how your attitudes almost contrasted one another in certain ways too. It was
this is the first match we're talking about in Philly.
This is the first match, yeah, correct.
So forget that about they're excited because they already knew that was the best match. They didn't know that yet.
They didn't know it yet.
I thought we were on a different match.
No, this is your first televised match, at the ECW arena. Speaking.
Yeah, man. So I just knew that he was my opponent for that time, I didn't know how many times I was going to wrestle him or anything like that, but I knew I wanted to make it a real worthy match. I don't know if it was before this or shortly after. We just started bringing guys in from other companies, for challenges, and that's where brought Kamala II from All Japan, Ben Peacock, friend of mine, and One Man Gang. We were just even from like Crawford and Furnace.
Crawford, yeah, Furnace and them.
It was that was kind of like the plan, and I was really enjoying it. So I didn't want this to be an easy step. That's for sure.
No doubt. And it's kind of neat because when I went back and watched this match, it was on the Peacock, and so I saw Hardcore TV, and I was like, I've been on there before and obviously watched the matches, but I'm surprised with how many episodes there are. So I'm like, geez, I got a lot of catching up to do on this stuff because on the ECW on the Hardcore TV episodes, I was really pleasantly surprised with how many is up on there. So
from the arena, right? Or not the TNN one, not the TNN one.
No. So this is still 98. So it's whatever it was Sunshine Network at that point, or where they're going.
Got you, Alexa. Shut the fuck up.
Is she singing again?
Every day. I don't know why she turns herself on.
What the heck? Jeez, what a diva.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the ECW arena in those days. What was it like working there? This was prime ECW during 1998. How was the atmosphere for you? In the fan, because like me, I get to see the 2300, but I never experienced the actual elements of the ECW regional in its heyday, so to speak.
Right. Well, from what I remember, the fans were loving RVD. They were loving the TV title reign, and I was loving it too. It was awesome because I was always still working with Sabu. Even if I was a singles competitor. It was always he was around, or I'd be around his matches, or we'd be backstage, promos together, whatever. So it was a lot of fun for me during that time because we're like family since he trained me, and so I missed that. That was awesome because it was just real. Us traveling around together and stuff like that. But that night, I knew that I had the spotlight on me, and it was time to perform. I looked at every night like that, but with the TV championship, especially in Philadelphia, the competition level was very, very high. It was like the fans there were spoiled because they've been getting such great matches. They've been screaming so loud, so many deafening pops already, so always when we were there, it was like the opposite of a night off, really looking to bring something to the show.
Right. This is a cool question too. I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts. It's such a legendary arena, the ECW arena. Where does it rank for you overall as for arena? Just from Yeah, I would just say from like a perspective of how you feel about it in general.
About this match?
About the ECW arena in comparison to everything else in your career. Where would you kind of rank this arena for yourself in your career?
The ECW arena was it was very special. You know, it was an essential step in my career because it was such a huge change. The whole culture in the Northeast was different than the South, where I had come from.
Yeah.
And it really was represented by the ECW crowd. You know, it went from all kids to no kids. And then, like, they all swore, you know, and their chants, you know, that they had were vulgar, and they entertained themselves at our expenses, and they were the most highly opinionated crowd, you know, like ever. So there was a lot of pressure. So for me, you know, I loved that while I was there, I was learning to become myself in front of them with that atmosphere and that setting, you know, where they're just watching for me to slip up so they can say, you fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want that, you know?
Yeah, right. I was going to ask you about that too, like how you felt about the "you fucked up" chants, like whenever that would come. Well, I mean, oh, fuck, I did fuck up. Or would that just be more of a motivator?
It depends, you know? I mean, like, say I grab a chair and then I'm going to throw it at Sabu, but he drop kicks it into my face, and if the crowd wants to say, you fucked up, then good. You know, I'm glad that they're entertained by that. You know what I mean? If I want to do a springboard and I slip and I fall on my face and they say, you fucked up, then, you know, find me a noose. But that's why I stopped doing springboards along, you know, at a certain point, because it doesn't take slipping too many times to where I just throw it out and say, not worth it. Yeah, right. You know, everyone else can do the springboard, but I was still doing, I did it like with the Van Terminator, but I'm just, for example, though, I'm just saying, you know, that was a lot of pressure. And if I fucked up, I was already my own worst critic. So getting shit on top of it was not a good feeling. It kind of, those words kind of felt like cups full of dog crap sometimes.
Oh my gosh! Now was that kind of an across the board feeling for the locker room? Like they were like, "Oh, I don't want to get a you fucked up" chant, or did some people were just like, "I don't give a shit," you know, like whatever.
I couldn't speak for anybody else, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense too.
Like I said, Sabu sometimes would go for those.
Right,
you know,
yeah, intentionally do it.
Do a springboard and trip himself and fall and get him. And then, you know, he got what he wanted. So there was that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, like, to that extent, there kind of was. But, you mentioned it, like, Jerry, like, beating him in, like, 8 minutes. He didn't want to do that, stuff like that. What was kind of Jerry's feeling about that? Or he was just like going along to get along at this point, right? Trying to just acclimate himself with everything? Or
I think he would have been fine with whatever was told to him, you know, to have that opportunity to have a match, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, this was before talking to Jerry about it, you know, still them telling me that, but, you know, I'm sure if it would have been like 6 minutes, we went, oh, dang, I would have liked to show him some stuff, but it wouldn't have been like a huge deal, you know. And oh, really? That's my Jerry Lynn impression. Dang it. Oh, geez. Oh, are you serious? Dang it. Dang it. I wish we had more time. I don't know.
All right, that's moving up in the rankings for me for your impressions. That's a good one. All right, so like we mentioned earlier, this was your first match together on TV, but you guys worked together on house shows leading up to this. Your chemistry very noticeable.
Did we? I don't know if we did actually.
That's what YouTube Chris says. So possibly, I believe this is the first match I've seen for you guys. So
Yeah, I don't know because I kind of feel like we didn't work house shows before this. I don't think that we did.
damn it! If that's the case, like you guys are fucking peanut butter and jelly. Right
well, that's the way I remember it. I don't remember it like, okay, we've already worked a bunch, and I remember it like us feeling each other out there and me taking the time to do that and peel it apart instead of what I was advised to do. And so that would make my story pretty bass backwards. But it's possible I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
No, dude. I mean, I could see it definitely like you guys just meshing that well. Okay, yeah. During your match, you're laying face down, and Jerry hit you with a leg drop from the second rope, ramming your face into the mat. Your nose immediately started bleeding badly. Was it a broken nose? Did you have a broken nose?
I don't think so.
You didn't think so? It was a cool visual.
Yeah. I don't know if it was. I mean, sometimes you don't end up knowing because you don't. I didn't get it looked at or anything. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Did you break your nose before that? Like whether you're doing martial arts?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. I mean, do you count Sabu's diagnosis?
I would. Medical.
he says yes, but I don't know if it was actually broke or not.
Oh, okay. I would take Sabu's opinion on it. I think he would probably be somewhat of an expert on that. Let me see. Okay, yes. So YouTube Chris, he wrote this down. He said YouTube Chris is pretty sure that you wrestled later that night against the Dudleys. You also did you wrestle the Dudleys that night? Do you remember at all?
I think this is all twisted up in my head right now because I know I've wrestled the Dudleys on several occasions, but me personally against both Dudleys, I think happened the night that I cut my eyelid.
Oh.
Yeah, because me and Sabu put Bam Bam Bigelow through a table. Unless this was all the same night, you know what I mean? Put Bam Bam Bigelow through a table, and a jagged edge of the table fell outward instead of just caving in. It went outward over the leg, and I had to. Anyway, I taped my head all up.
Yeah.
And then I wrestled in a handicap match with both Dudleys later that night. And I don't know if I also wrestled the Dudleys after wrestling Jerry Lynn. I don't know why I would because I don't think we taped several. I don't think that we used to do that at the Philly to tape several TV shows, and I don't know why. But that one I could be wrong on, but that's and then I got 7 stitches on my eyelid later that night. By the way,
holy shit!
You didn't know about that either.
No, Well, you know what? I like in this match itself too was like you were saying, this was a longer match between you two. You guys went a good amount of time. So, you took a tornado DDT from the apron to a table on the floor, and the table didn't break. Do you remember that?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that happens, but that's also, it depends on how you hit it, and there's factors of which way your momentum's going and your weight. But for us, that was a big factor because we were using stuff that was already there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sabu always says this in interviews. He was the first one to start breaking tables and stuff.
Right.
And he said it's there already. It's something that would be and is beside the ring or under the ring for the ring announcers,
Sure, yeah.
That's why it made sense. And then now they have like doors under there and like things big sheets of glass and it's like the stuff that would never be under there. Like, why is that under there?
Yeah, what's the point of having that there?
Unless it's a really special match, of I guess that kind of silly garbage stuff. I don't know. But to Sabu's point, I agree with that too. And I feel like we'd go through the announcer's table, and then it was a different approach to start taking the wire rim off of it and gimmicking it, and then like you got, and then and then you get to what WWE was, which was they'd see. Yeah, we were diving through the table onto the cement floor. And then for them, okay, but we can put 3 feet of safe padding underneath the table, and then sprinkle a bunch of dust powder on it so it'll poof, when you hit it, and then take all trimmings off and saw it so it's ready to go. And then that's why I always, before I went there, I didn't want to go there because I always thought it was like a Hollywood version of wrestling.
Yeah,
like they were filming stunts like what we were actually doing,
Yeah.
But I kind of remember that one. The table didn't break. I think we roll onto the floor.
Yep. Oh, so some other cool notes I wanted to mention too that Chris didn't have down. I liked it, the aspect when it was earlier on in the match. You and Jerry had a sequence, but then you got out of the ring, or he knocked you out of the ring, or something like that. And then you're like,
the nerve of that bastard.
Well, you know what? What was funny is like you're with Bill and the referee. I can't remember his name, but you were like,
"Was it Pee Wee?
Like, huh?
Was it Pee Wee?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Pee Wee was. What was Pee Wee's name? It wasn't
John Pee Wee Moore. John Moore.
No, it was an Italian last name. I think he had.
Jeff. That Jeff dude.
Yeah, I think it was Jeff something or something. I can't remember. But what was funny is you were like, so who am I going to listen to? Am I going to listen to RVD or am I going to listen to Jeffer over here? You pointed to the ref as that the camera. And I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Oh, that was Jim Molyneux.
Yes, that was it.
That's
that was
it.
it. That was it.
Yeah. John Finnegan was another one.
Yep, John
yeah, Jim Molyneux. Good dude.
That was it. And so then later on in the match, he did like a 2 count or something like that. And you got up and you're like, 2? And like you're like made a face. It was really good shit. But then another
I like working off the refs being a heel. That's fun.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like you don't really see that too much anymore. And so it's like when you see it back then, it's like, oh man, it stands out even more because.
Well, you got to come up with a lot of stuff when it's not scripted.
Yeah.
Like I think I've told you this. I don't know. I have this conversation all the time, but just like we were saying earlier, like it is what they thought it was coming up, so they made it that now. The only scripts anyone has ever handed me has been dialogue, whether it's in an acting part like a movie, TV show, or in wrestling if it's an idea for a promo, and they usually want me to handle it, But I'm not saying that some of these other guys aren't dealing with scripts. I don't know. I hear the word thrown around so much, I'm starting to believe it myself, but I can tell you that as far as I know, it's not, and back when it was very much more of just, go with the moment and be committed to the moment, that's when a lot of the best stuff would come out.
Right. Well, what I found was really cool in this match too was it wasn't the finish, but I thought it was going to be at first. Was so there was a sequence where Jerry is in the ring, Alfonso comes in and interferes. He grabs the chair. Jerry grabs the chair from him, and I think Jerry grabs the chair from Bill. But then you hit him with a Van Daminator on it, and I was like, "That's the finish." But then Jerry rolls out of the ring, and yes, and so I thought that was such a cool sequence of like setting it up, where it's like there's the distraction, and it really brought up some good heat for Jerry, and like the crowd was starting to get behind Jerry too a little bit with it when it came out.
Awesome.
Which was very, very cool. Another aspect I didn't even think about was how small the guardrails were, how close the guardrails were to the ring itself at that. And so like you did a baseball slide and like Jerry moved out of the way or something, and then you slid just right into the crowd.
Wow, I was thinking about when you said that, I was thinking about when Sabu would do a moonsault off the second rope outside, like when he had me on the stretcher, did that moonsault, and his shins just went whack right on the guardrail, smack straight on it. Like every time I watch that, I got to rewind it like 5 times, and I'm laying on the floor in a ball watching it.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that makes me wince just thinking about it too.
Crack.
Gee.
Like baseball bats. Sound like baseball bats hitting the guardrail.
Not good. All right, so the match ended with Jerry crouched on the top rope. This was such a cool ending to the match, too. Jerry crouched on the top rope. You went up to the top and kicked a chair into his face that Fonzie was holding. It was a really well done sequence. But after you kicked the chair, it went flying into the front row, and it looked like it hit a recognizable fan. Chris knows the name of this guy, named Lenny, with the long black hair and black sunglasses, who often sits in the same seats at the arena. I have a picture of Lenny here. Put up there. Is this him? Yeah, did you see him? He looks like one of the Ramones.
With the RVD shirt on, and I kicked him with a chair.
And you kicked him with you finished him
sorry,
too, along with Jerry.
Sorry, Lenny, bro. Thanks for not suing me.
Yeah, there you go. I rewound it and it looked. I was like, holy shit, it did hit him.
Was he hurt?
I think he must be okay from what I know.
No, but I mean, you said you watched it.
I did watch it. Oh, so the guys did go over there and check on him. As far as what I was able to see, they like swarmed him, and I don't know what happened after.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's exactly why ECW couldn't be around today. When people ask, could you think it could ever come back? No.
Nah, not with that stuff.
Not in its true form,
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you talked about it, like you wanted this match to go long.
If Lenny didn't want to sue, he would have 10 buddies that want to beat him up for not wanting to sue,
Right, exactly. Oh, it's kind of funny because I'm like, I see the guy in the straw hat with the Hawaiian shirt on and stuff, and it's just like all those recognizable fans are just there.
Yeah. There was a couple of lawsuits back in the day from me hitting. I was involved in 2 for me, physically hitting crowd members.
Oh man, it's crazy too because just today AEW a report came out of AEW. They have a new whole rule list of moves that you're not banned, but you have to get approval from. And then they talk about doing like the crowd stuff, like no interaction, like no weapons in the crowd, no spitting, none of that stuff. It's all starting to get implemented on there. So
yeah, well, you got to have control, man. We were. That was what was so incredible, and that's why everyone watched it, because you never knew what was going to happen. But that was also why it can't be anymore. I mean, fire went under the guardrail and lit the fans on fire one time. I think it was Terry Funk or Mick Foley.
Probably a Terry Funk thing. It sounds like because he utilized it a lot.
There was all kinds of things that would happen that nowadays just would not fly in this nerf safe, work friendly environment world.
Right. When you
a lot of stuff, everything backstage that used to work doesn't work anymore, but a lot of stuff in the show as well.
Yeah. It's like, and when you get a new TV deal coming up or something like that, like AEW's got, it's like you gotta button up and make sure everything, is copacetic when it comes to
you can't be hurting fans.
No, right?
Breaking fans' legs and blinding them and stuff.
Lighting them on fire. You don't want none of that business going down. All right. So do you think this match, you mentioned that like you wanting to go along with Jerry and like it just being a great match. Like personally, when I watched it, I was like, I love Jerry. I love the work that you do. It's like, this is perfect. And so it's one of my favorite matches. I will say that right now. But do you think this match gave Jerry like a whole new respect with Paul and a lot of the wrestlers backstage? Like,
I'm going to give you a thumbs up right now.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. All right. Appreciate it. Hell yeah.
Well,
what a way to start the weekend here. In my Pennsylvania town. Nice. Yeah, do you think this kind of gave him a new respect with Paul and maybe kind of made it open his eyes a little bit of what Jerry is capable of doing? Or
1,000%.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So much so that we tried. Me and Paul both tried to do this in WWE when I went there in 2001. And I don't remember specifically, I believe I talked to Vince about it. Said, I don't know if he's seen me and Jerry's matches, but we worked great together, whatever. And Man, did he tell me that I should focus on bigger things? I don't know if that actually happened. A lot of my conversation was through Paul because Paul had to go to the agents' meetings a few times a day. And when I talked to Paul, he was always updating me, whatever. But Paul had told me that Vince didn't care for or didn't see anything special in Jerry Lynn. And you know, we got him to give us one match. It was on Sunday Main Event or whatever.
Sunday Night Heat, maybe, was it? Sunday Night Heat? Yeah.
That's what it was. And it was like 6 to 8 minutes, but it was really good though. But you know, that it didn't get him a full-time job, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know Jerry, he was there for, I think he started like somewhere around that, like 2001, 2002. I remember him being on one of the video games, and like he was there. I think he became the light heavyweight champ while he was there. But I really wanted to see more.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What does he want? He got the chance.
He got the title. No, he would have been great. I think, yeah, he was underutilized. I always liked Jerry Lynn from that moment and stuff. So. Cool. Well, yeah, that was what I had for Jerry. I did want to get your thoughts too. We mentioned this last week, like, hey, where would you have fit, kind of like in the kind of dynamic of if a promotion was being run and you were part of it or something like that, like from a perspective of like coaching and stuff. Could you kind of see like early on, like Jerry had that capability of being that type of person where, because like he's a big coach in AEW, he like, did you see that potential for him? Like you would be like, oh, Jerry would be an excellent at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Like I said, we were both stubborn, like on our views and stuff. And it was that same quality where I could tell, you know, that like his fundamentals and his reasoning always made sense. But it was always, I could tell it was really important to him in a way, you know, that he was carrying the right thing forward. And so that was something that I knew he could and maybe already did teach. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you say your friendship developed over the years too, after like, you know, you guys were, you know, had your great rivalry in ECW and moving on from that, whether, you know, current day and stuff like that. Overall, how's your relationship and friendship been with
Well, we became really good friends. You know, I don't usually have too many people that are close to me, and so working at that time, I think we were doing like 4 matches a week, if I'm not mistaken, and you know, just traveling, working together, and liking each other. You know, we bonded a lot. So his girlfriend and my evil ex were friends, and I think. I don't think that happened first, but I think they bonded quicker than we did. Maybe, you know, like but anyway, yeah, they were like really, you know, like best friends. And so sometimes we would do something together. I remember when I was moving, and I remember they came over, and Jerry always tells me this because they came over to help us move, and Jerry smoked like a little bit. I don't know if we were smoking a joint or a bong at the time, but he wasn't much of a smoker. That wasn't something, but he hit it a couple of times or whatever and ended up just going to sleep. And so like, instead of helping us, like he's just napping. And, he always likes to bring that up. But yeah, we've helped each other out over the years, and I think he's appreciative of everything I've been able to do, and I am too. And last year, I guess maybe the year before, I think it was last year at the ECW arena, I got inducted into their Hall of Fame, put up on the wall, and Jerry Lynn gave a really nice speech about me inducting me.
How about that? Yeah, I saw your banner. I saw it up there this past weekend. So.
Cool.
Yeah. So I love Jerry too. No, I think he's awesome. But like I said, first ever interview, just left a great impression. So if
someone says that they know him and that they I just can't imagine someone saying bad things about him. You know what I mean? That'd be hard to imagine.
Right.
Be like, you must have caught him in a horrible mood or said the wrong thing.
Something had to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, great dude. So cool. This was a good one. Okay, it's time for some Ask RVD. I have a few questions lined up here, and this like I did with the YouTube comments, I got them screenshotted this time.
Nice, dude. I like the extra work in production. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're an awesome host, like I always say.
I appreciate that, Rob. So, all right, here we go. Josh Henney, who's also top guy at ad-free shows. I know him from other shows and stuff that he tunes into. Do you celebrate 420 in each time zone?
That is a lot of celebrating. You know what I mean? That's like every hour on the hour. Yeah, for me, like I've never bothered to like set an alarm for it or anything because it would take the fun out of it. So if you see me post, hey, it's 420, and if I'm somewhere, I'll post where I'm at too. The other day I said it's 420 in Chicago because it was. Yeah. But for me, the fun is when I look down and like, hey, look at that, Otherwise, if I put an alarm and just went, hold on a second, I got to send my daily post, then maybe people would still like to follow it, They probably would, especially if I traveled and then I don't know. Anyway, for me, the fun is just when the universe happens to have me look down at either 420 or 419, and I'm like, would you look at that? I'm gonna, send a tweet, or if I'm already smoking, then I do feel like, hey, well, this extra toke is extra blessed,
right?
Yeah.
The time is right. Okay. Hey, we got a legend here. The Pontiac Silverdome tweets at us. It says, "Can you talk about your first apartment that you rented? Where was it? Any interesting stories about this or any other apartments you rented while you continued to build your career in wrestling?"
Whoa. Hey, maybe it's like a real estate dude and they actually bought the Pontiac Silverdome because that thing was for sale several years ago. And it was like, it might have been an auction that started really low, but I think it was like 400,000. It might have been 600,000. Whatever it was something that I couldn't believe because it's so big and I don't know. Yeah,
did you see pictures of it too as of recent? Like I think I can't remember the name of the site, but it's like all like recent pictures of what old stadiums look like that have been abandoned. It's like holy shit! It's like oh my god,
falling apart and shit.
Yeah, falling apart. It's crazy looking.
Yeah,
I can't think like Hogan slammed Andre there or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't remember because now I'm thinking of the Hollywood sign one time. The original one was for sale when I lived there, and it started at like 40 grand or something. I was like, I think I'm going to bid on that.
Right? But, why not?
Yeah, but Hugh Hefner actually ended up buying it, but so I couldn't have competed with that dude.
No.
But so my first apartment that I rented was in Augusta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I was there was because I had moved down to Florida, was loving living in Tampa, had just gotten the name Rob Van Dam not too long ago, had some momentum going with some magazines and little TV out of Universal and stuff like that. Greg Price, who ran South Atlantic Wrestling, I'd already wrestled for him. I wrestled for him in South Atlantic Pro Wrestling with Manny Fernandez. He ended up calling saying, hey, we got something going on up here in Georgia. And I'm just 21. I'm 21, right?
What year?
Hold on. I'm either 21. I'm 21, dude. So this is 92.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm 20, and Greg Price says, "Hey, we got some stuff going on up here. A wrestling company, got a money, dude. We'd like to, what would it take to have you move up here?" I'm like, I don't want to move up to Georgia. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, I love it down here, man. There's girls everywhere, and pool parties, and he goes, no, I know, but there must be some amount of money that you would move here for, right? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm bouncing for $35. I'm wrestling at the Sportatorium for $35 on Thursday. And Manny Fernandez and the other dude that had the penny collection, the coin collection, he ran CWF, Shannon Rose. That was a $50 payment too, you know, and that would happen once a month or something. And anyway, I was like, dude, he goes, no, tell me. And I'm like, I don't want to move. I know, just tell me what amount would change your mind, because I could use you up here. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I was not prepared to have that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I'd have to pay all my bills off that, so I don't have to have like a regular job, you know, so I can pay my apartment and pay my car payments or whatever I have. And I know, just go ahead and tell me. And I was just, oh my God, dude. And I was like, I mean, I'd have to be like $500 a week. And he was like, all right, what if it's $6? I was like, oh my God, I'm moving to Augusta, Georgia. Oh. So that's how that happened. And then I was on a weekly salary myself, Bambi, Selena Majors.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Selena. She lost not only Dan Masters, but also Peggy Lee Leather, who were probably those were the two closest people to her. So, bam. But it was me, her, and then also this dude that is not alive anymore. Maybe I'll do a radiology story on Chaz Rocco. But anyway, it was the three of us who were on a weekly salary, plus part of the job was also going and getting sponsorships for all the businesses. We were doing fundraisers, so, you know, the money would come in pretty easy for the cause, especially with a member from the fundraising department taking us to people in their town that they know. It was a really good experience. And I made so much money doing that when I left to go to WCW, after being there like 5 or 6 months, I was like, dude, no, I'm out. I was doing better before I came here, and I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. But during that time in Augusta, I got my very first apartment. It was on the Augusta golf course, the Nationals.
Yeah.
And it was a townhouse, is what you call it, I think. I think you call it a townhouse.
Like one of those little, like, kind of like, where they're all connected almost? Is that what?
Yeah, they were all connected, wasn't it? And when you open up the door, like, you go straight or you could go upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just had like a bed mattress on the floor downstairs. That was like my furniture. And the place was filled with cockroaches.
Holy fuck.
It was either $400 or $450 a month I was paying.
Golly. The cockroaches, man. And Georgia.
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah. Even though they sprayed every month, and yeah, there was always cockroaches there.
Man. No, man. That's definitely a turn off. Okay, we'll wrap it up with this one here.
But I did all right considering that was a turn off, if you know what I mean.
Hey-o. All right. Jason Bertilli says, any good stories on the late, great Balls Mahoney? Do you have a good story for us on Balls?
Balls was a good guy. He was a good dude, and he was crazy. And man, he always wanted to bleed. You know, sometimes he'd ask me before the match, you know, if I mind if he bleeds. And I'm like, dude. And sometimes that happens. I mean, more often than you would think. But dude, do you think we need it? We're at Belmar in a bar outside in the sand, and there's like, you know, 75 people here. Trying to think of any specific stories. Man, he was just always so nuts. I remember him sitting in the lobby at the hotel. I think it was in Boston. Is that Boston? No, it's Pittsburgh. in Pittsburgh for some reason. I don't know why. He's sitting in the hotel in the lobby in his underwear, stabbing himself in the leg.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, that's kind of a funny story.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't remember the details. I kind of think maybe the cops were called on him, and but hopefully not. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter now if they were, if it was just security, but I don't know. Like he was out there and always a good guy. I can't think of any particular. What did I don't know if I don't think I ever like ate with him, or if I traveled with him, there was like 8 of us in a van, maybe.
You're right. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
I know I can't remember, somewhere outside of Philly, they had, Shane Douglas had his ECW Extreme Reunion, it was called, I think. Extreme Rising, something like that, one of those promotions. And Balls I remember waiting in line as a fan, and Balls was out there hanging out with everybody. So that was, yeah. To your point, he seems like a bit of a wild card, if you will.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, I think everyone that knows him though says, he was a good dude. So he used to pride himself on how hard he hit with the chair.
Really?
So that tells you how different the business that we were doing was than the Nerf soft, work-friendly environment industry of today. He literally prided himself on hitting harder than anybody else.
Jeez.
And he would wrap the chair. That's what he hoped to do, was the more damage that the chair was, the better he accomplished his goals, and the more the crowd would pop. And so, that's what he hoped for, was just to fold it around your head, smack, and then show it to the crowd, and your whole head imprint is in there. And that was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would know when it's coming that I was going to get my bell rung, but this was before we knew about concussions, long-term brain damage, stuff like that. But man, so many times he would crack me in the head, and I was just like, whoa, I hope I get it right in the middle, because if you get it on one of the edges, it's going to hurt way more. You just, you hope to get it in the middle. That's the best of the worst. You know what I mean? It still sucks.
Yeah, right.
Wham! And then I'd be laying there. Sometimes, the sound would be out, and I just look, open my eyes up and look at all these people.
Oh, you wouldn't hear shit?
Well, yeah. Sometimes it'd be like slow motion for a few seconds or something, and sometimes I might have a little spin. I always wonder if it depends on what part of my brain maybe was
connected with or bounced.
Maybe, yeah. Either it bounced off my skull or that actually felt the impact of the chair. That's something I don't know if there's been a study to test that theory, but I always wonder because of the different things. Sometimes I could see maybe floaters or something a little bit, maybe. But anyway, I just thought that was part of the job. And as much as Balls wanted to show how hard he could hit, I got to admit, my stupid ass wanted to show how hard I could be hit.
You could take it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the show off in me. I wanted all the fans to know they wouldn't survive a match that they're seeing, because I'm there to exhibit toughness and durability.
Right. And that's that dynamic too. Whether it was ECW or even another, promotion, it's just you want to make sure that you're legitimate. You know what I mean? It's and hey, if you get hit with that's gonna tell something.
I didn't even mind it though. It was just like I said, I thought it was part of the job.
Part of the job, yeah, kind of the thing of that. So
yeah, the worst part would have been if I woke up and didn't realize the bastard covered me and pinned me.
Right. Right. There you go.
I've only been out twice though, where I'm out,
just completely out.
Yeah, once was before the business, and just once on the business that I remember. Can't remember. No, and I did it to myself.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it ECW, WWE? Was it?
It was TNA.
Yeah. Oh, was it really? Wow.
I think that was the only other time. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You want to hear that story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm wrestling Kenny King, and I don't know if I was leaving after this. I feel like I was, and went up to the top to do the frog splash,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm up there, and just to be different, got to test myself every once in a while. That's what I'm thinking.
Uh-huh.
Like, how long has it been since I've done a 450? You know what I mean? So instead of a frog splash, I'm just gonna do a 450. Same thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. He's moving. RVD. Bam! Knocked myself out. Did a 1.5. Landed on my face. And then he's picking me up on his shoulder, and I've seen it on footage. It looks like I'm just way overselling, super spaghetti legged. Like it looks like I was just like for some reason really, really, really selling, but I wasn't in there. Yeah, I was like, it was like I was out on my feet is the right way to put it, and then just for a few seconds, whatever. But I do remember sometimes when someone really gets rocked, they have a hard time of retaining information afterwards for a while. Yeah. I've seen it many times, and I've been there these 2 times, the one before the business and this one, and I remember. After the match, where in the back where everyone is, Dixie Carter was checking on me. She's like, how are you feeling? And I said, I feel fine. I said, I can't remember the match though, and but I feel great though. And she says, you do know they just told me that like a few minutes ago, right? I was like, are you serious? She says, go see the doctor right now. I'm like, yeah, I will. No, now go see them right now. And I did. So that was the other one. That was the second one. Talk about the first one another time.
Yeah,
I
okay.
did talk about it on RVDology though. That's on our, I believe, loyalty. If you want to hear that story in between, before I bring it up here on my YouTube.
On the YouTubies.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, concussions are rough times. I had something like that too, and yeah, you repeat yourself. You don't remember. Oh my god, one concussion I had, real bad, but yikes.
Yeah, sometimes you just wait. What happened again? And over and over.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, rough times there. Rough times, Rob. I got to give you guys credit. Jeez.
Well, turns out it's not so smart to do.
Nope. All right, Rob, it's time to wrap it up. It is
all right, dude.
RVDology time.
All right, man.
I've got a good experience that I can share. It was a wild and very funny, also very annoying experience, but it all ties in to the subjectivity of it all. I was in Philly this past weekend, and I ended up taking the Amtrak. I took the Amtrak back. And I was hoping to find a seat just by myself.
From the airport or to the airport?
No, so from 30th Street Station right in Philadelphia.
Whoa, cool.
Yep, to Pittsburgh. And so, yeah, I actually love taking the train. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, me too. They don't have them out here.
No, don't they? See, I would totally move out to Las Vegas if they had a train there.
Well, they're working on it. I think Elon Musk is working on on one to.
Mm.
I don't know. He's doing some stuff underground. He's got tunnels where cars are going underground down
Oh shit!
around
Okay.
downtown and stuff, and that's already happening, which I wasn't aware till I saw it on a video. But then also they're talking about doing an L.A. Vegas train. Finally, you know what's crazy is Las Vegas was founded by being a train stop.
No way.
Yeah, way back in 1905 when it first became a city, it was just a stop between Utah and California, and then now you can't even take a train in or out of town. It's weird, but the old train station is a hotel that still is decorated like a train station and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
It's on Main Street. Yeah.
Damn. No, I
Weird.
love taking the train, and so
Me
like
too.
I took it back to Pittsburgh and found a seat by myself. I was like, all right, this is good. A couple of girls in the back sitting there, and they were really loud at first. But I've taken plenty of trains before, so I was like, I'll just settle down, they'll fall asleep or whatever. I won't worry about it. And then so obviously going from Philly to Pittsburgh, you stop in Lancaster. So Lancaster, a lot of Amish girls get on the train. And so they're talking like crazy. Like they're just excited to be on the train, but it's a amalgamation of English and like Dutch or Deutsch or whatever the German thing is with it. And so they're talking that. And so these girls that were talking earlier on the train.
Hey,
really
watch
loud-
the film. Watch it.
Oh, sorry. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to cease and desist here. Don't wanna cease.
That's okay. You got bonus points for that good use of the word amalgamation. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I bought a little bit of time. But so anyways, they were getting upset at the Amish girls for talking so loud. And I'm thinking in my head, geez, you guys were talking loud earlier on. And then here a wild card comes in is this old heavyset dude that looks like Santa Claus comes in, sits over beside me. Plenty of overhead space to put your luggage and stuff like that. No, this dude decides to put all his luggage in the back of the train. All of it in the back. People are getting pissed. The girls are getting pissed because he falls into them as he's walking back there. And complete energy vampire, too. This guy's narrating everything he does, like verbatim, like, writing stuff down, everything. It's awful. But it's also very funny to me because it's just like, I know it's upsetting these girls. They're getting upset about the Amish girls, and I'm just trying to do work. And so I'm just thinking about like how everything is subjective, but everybody's so ensconced in their own life, in their own element, that they're being rude to one another, like by not being considerate of everybody else.
Right.
Like that. And so I'm just like, their view is of everybody else going on here is subjective to what they think. And so I'm just like kind of thinking about this the whole time, and I'm just like, my God, I rolled with it for pretty much the whole time until the end, where somebody started playing music on their phone. Then I was like, it's pretty much cleared out now. I'm gonna move up on the train and just get out of this whole level.
Yeah.
It was all subjective, man, and I was just thinking about that the whole time.
Right. Man. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, dude. Well, hopefully I helped you out. Another good example of a subjective. I always like to tap on to the end, since it's all true. So there's always more to the story. What's subjective is dosages, and people don't think about that with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like me going into a marijuana dispensary, right?
Yep.
Imagine a 22-year-old kid trying to sell me a little bag of weed, like an eighth of a bud, and him saying, dude, with this stuff, all you need is like 2 tokes a night time and you're good.
Completely subjective.
Come on, man. How could that not be? How could you claim to know my biochemistry? Why would you even claim to know how much I'm gonna need of that? That's just the way basic thinkers think.
Yeah.
You know what else is subjective? Good parenting. Is he a good parent? Like people think so highly of that. Like what if being a bad parent isn't, you know, the worst thing on your list. You know, what if you're like, hey, I suck at being a parent? You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I should be having these kids. You know what I mean?
I should have this life.
I'm so irresponsible. Like, what am I doing? Like, you know, what if you feel like that? Like, if people, to some people, that's the worst thing in the world. They'd want to put you to death. You know,
Yeah.
He's a horrible parent. Well, he said he is. You know, he said, you know what I mean? But for them, it's like that is just the wrong way to be. Like, hey, if anything, you better be a good parent. Like, that's something that's built in to us. But again, you know, when you reprogram, and I'm not saying that I think being a bad parent is a good thing,
Right.
but I'm just saying that it's something to think about instead of just taking it for granted, like a lot of people do. It is going to be, it's going to be subjective. A lot of people don't want kids, don't claim that they would be good parents. You know, you're looking at one. You know, maybe I would be a good parent. I don't know. If we find out, this kid's going to hear me saying that I never wanted a kid for a long time. But
We'll roll this back later on.
I'm sure that would change. That would be, you know, subjective to how I feel about the subject at the time. But you know, I've never ever prided myself on thinking that I would be a good parent or whatever. It's subjective. All right, but we're moving on past subjective. That was last week. Subjective was last week. Now since you talked so long about your story, now we don't have time for. No, I'm just joking. I didn't take a lot of time on this. Like right before the show, I took like 5 minutes. You know, and I was like, what do I want to talk about? And man, there's always like so many subjects. It's not like I'll run out, but sometimes I wonder if we've already talked about it. I wonder, like, did we talk about this or that? So sometimes I text you, and you know, this one I know I haven't because I haven't even done an RVD. I haven't done one on my YouTube yet, and I will where I'll be able to expand. So I'm just going to touch upon this for a minute.
Okay.
I expect some pushback from people that don't share my philosophy here with this. That's because it's a very popular philosophy to stay ahead of everybody else, to be the first one in line, to get up early and eat the worm. I personally don't like eating worms, and what I want to talk about is competition and when is it really necessary to compete? This is my bigger picture view. You know, when I was a pro wrestler, like we were talking about, I guess I still am a wrestler, but I mean, when I was ECW TV champion, I was competing like a motherfucker. I was trying to do my best, trying to outshine myself every chance that I had every week. You know, if you've heard the expression, if you're not going at it 110%, if you're not living 110%, then you're not living. That makes a great t-shirt. But personally, having the bigger picture now, I feel like sometimes it's okay to take it out of overdrive and to chill. And hopefully I'll be able to explain that in a way, you know, like when I was a kid in school, I was not a sporty guy, not an athlete. I don't know what I was, you know, a bit of a nerd. And the kids that were really good at sports, I hated them. I was jealous of them. Plus they were dicks too. Ryan Vanderwall, dick.
Super dick.
Hopefully he's grown since then. But, you know, the guys that were like really good at basketball and stuff, because I didn't feel that coordinated. I didn't feel that confident. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure that kids should be forced to do these things. You know, why does every kid need to have a little piece of every part of life? I'm not sure. I'm not that kind of a teacher, but I wonder, did I have to go to choir and learn don't step on my blue suede shoes and be forced to sing in front of the class? That was embarrassing as fuck. I don't want to do that now.
Yeah.
Did the fat kids, the clumsy kids, the uncoordinated kids, they all have to be made fun of by showing everyone that they can't play basketball or that they sweat too much or what they look like naked so you can teach them how to take a shower? I don't know. I think as far as schools being an academic enterprise, there's boundaries, and I don't know exactly what's different today than was back then. But as far as competition goes, I wouldn't say I was competitive in any of that. And because of that, it made me feel lesser, I think. I had to finally find my way to compete for attention, whether it was making people laugh, eventually by body slamming people or walking on my hands down the hallway, doing a backflip off my school, whatever it was, it was still competing for attention. But I wouldn't describe it as a comfortable feeling, and I think a lot of people subscribe to always being in that mode of competing. And that is a way of life. I think of like the stock market guys that say, hey, you know what? If you show up to work at 8:59, you're already 2 minutes late, and someone else already has 3 sales ahead of you. Boom, boom, boom. That is a way of life. It's an intense, stressful way of life. But for me, I'm here to tell you that if you're not comfortable with that, there is something called Zen. There is something called going with the flow. And I'll explain that a little bit more, because that has to do with being connected to the universe. And I don't want to sound crazy here, but that way of living where your values are screwed up to where you're seeing dollar bills and you don't realize human emotions or that the animals love you and you're not able to feel those things because you're just living differently. I get it. We talked about the taco reference, didn't we?
Taco reference.
All right, I'm gonna bring it up again anyway.
Bring it up because
I'm gonna try to make this kind of fast because like I said, I didn't take a lot of time. So, Kitty and I were part of this tour in Mexico. We're coming from, everyone is in the water, and we're coming, and they want to take us to this awesome street taco stand where the quesadillas are the best. And we're there, and there's a pretty decent group. We're all surrounded, we're all together, but the food's starting to get low while people are placing the orders, and there's still several of us that haven't eaten yet. And when they say the words and they say, oh, we only have 6 chicken left or something like that, there was this one dude that was maybe the only other dude. Maybe I felt a little no, he wasn't the only other dude, but he was like a alpha male kind of dude that, his vibration was a little abrasive when it met mine a little bit. And anyway, we're getting short on chicken, something like that. He said, I'm gonna get my tacos. That's all I know. And it really made me realize like how different I am, because I'm thinking, I want all these ladies to get fed first. Like if someone's going to starve, if someone's going to take some pain, if someone's got to push the car or something, I'm expecting that to be me. That's just my view. And right. I'm not saying, and maybe he got raised in the hood where if you don't fight for your tacos, you're not going to get tacos. And he lives in that competitive world. But here's where it's different. And where do you draw the line? If he's going to eat the tacos before these ladies can have any food, is he also going to be the kind of guy that would not open the door for her, or would he open the door for her? And if you don't see the relevance, it's in the mindset that I'm trying to open up here on self-serving versus maybe being overly empathetic, but feeling like it's the right thing to do prospectively. For me, I do have the hero, perspective. If somebody came and grabbed one of the ladies' purses and started running, I would start chasing them. Until I started shooting at me. I don't know if maybe dude that is all he knows is getting his tacos. Maybe he'd be like, fuck that. It didn't get my purse. I don't know. And I don't know where to draw the lines, but I use that now for being self-serving. And whenever I see that in life, Katie and I both, it's an inside joke. Like, bam, well, look at him. He's getting his tacos. Like when you see people cutting in line or whatever they're doing, and you can tell. And maybe, like I said, different environments, we're raised different. I'm not saying others are wrong, but for me, I would trust in the fact that I'm gonna either be all right until we get more tacos, or I'll eat something else. But that's my drive. And if someone's drive is to always try to be first, that's installed in us. You always want to be the best. Who's the best daddy? Even like who's got the best school? Who's got the best football team? It's like we're always taught to be like everything we got is the best. And eventually you got to figure out where do you draw the lines on the pride to where, racism is a part of it, right? Because, what's the best skin color to have? What do you think people think? Their own. They're biased. They don't like the word racist. But I'm just saying, like, we're taught these things. Everything's the best, or we're going for the best. Nobody is taught to set out for, I'm going to get fourth place. Yeah. But at the same time, why do you have to be so competitive? Why can't we enjoy other people's victories and only just compete with ourselves and try to better ourselves in ways that we want to? Because that's more what I've learned to do. And because of that, I don't feel like as competitive. The whole time I was in wrestling, like all the other dudes that, I felt like, like, man, if I have to, I got to let him know, if he wants to turn it up, he's going to get hurt. He's going to regret it. There was always like that edge. And now it's like, man, a lot of those dudes are good dudes, man. Good dudes, dads. They have families. And here I was just looking at them as competitors, wanting the same thing as me. And, you're never going to get like the biggest house. You're never going to have the most money out of everybody that you could possibly know, because that is like an unending game. And it's good to better yourself in ways that you want to. But here's where I come back to being plugged into the universe. If you can stay with me, this may sound a little crazy, but from my perspective, I wonder, would it be fair to say that if you have that drive where you're always trying to get it, trying to grow, trying to get the next score, trying to win more money, trying to get the bigger car, trying to get the bigger house, could that be taken as restlessness and a lack of fulfillment? Because that's how I take it from my perspective. And everything's circumstantial. But if you look at it like that, I got to tell you, fulfillment is king. And how do you find fulfillment? You find fulfillment by, one, satisfying your own goals and learning to separate those from what society has put upon you. And something else, you plug into the universe. There's a fulfillment there that people are disconnected from, and that's because they don't know there's a spiritual side to them. There's mental, there's physical, and there's spiritual too. And I can't take all the time right now to tell you how to work on your spiritual self, but I am telling you that's key. And if you look at any self-help books, spiritual, what was it, Celestine Prophecy included, that I recommended last week, That's exactly what they'll tell you, is there's a fulfillment in that spiritual connection with the universe, which is with the net of energy that is over and through and part of all of us. And that's a real bigger picture. But that's not necessarily necessary just to sleep in and not get up and eat the worm. But I'm just saying, if you want to take a chance and you're feeling too much pressure about always trying to win, you know what? Win in your mind. Sometimes for me, I'll just have a list of things I got to do. Oh man, you know what? I got to call my accountant. I got to watch the videotape of that scumbag that's trying to extort me. I got to watch, and I got to do this. You know what? I'll sit there and I'll go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a W right now and call my accountant. Boom. Hey, all right, cool. Boom, I got a W. Sweet. I'm feeling better already. My energy's picking up. What was the other thing I said I got to do? I got to watch this video. Boom, boom, another W. Start stacking up them W's and see if you don't connect to the universe. Boom.
I like it, Rob. Man, and especially the point of competition, like you feel like you got to be the best at everything and stuff like that. Restlessness. It's like, I think it's a big point of it. Like a big point of something is like, I can't be settled down. I have to keep going. And yeah, it's just kind of living in the moment more so of the aspect of, okay, I don't gotta compete with everybody. It's just like be in my own lane and get the W's that you're capable of getting that day. So
right on, dude. I can't wait till next week when you tell me how this helped your week, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
really
going to think about this.
This is a big one. So, a lot of people live by different philosophies than I do. So I won't be surprised if I get some pushback from people that live a different way or feel like they're forced to live in a different manner or something like that. But I can tell already that you got it. And restlessness, dude. When you're fulfilled, it's such a peaceful, calm feeling when you're fulfilled. Let me tell you, it confuses everybody.
Yeah.
They don't get it. There's a universal restlessness, and it separates us. It separates the basic thinkers from people that like to use their brain, from spiritual people as well. And you're going to be more conscious of it.
Yeah. I'm excited to implement it throughout the week. So nice, man. Nice.
Picking up your energy and your vibration by getting W's and focusing on those and not thinking bad thoughts. That's one of the key ways to start plugging into the universe. Pretty soon, you'll know when you're plugged in.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Cool.
Well, yeah,
yes.
I was a few days ago, I was in Kentucky. I was at Fanboy. Pretty big con, man. On Saturday, there was so many people. I had to leave to go to a family wedding. Mm-hmm. When I left like at 1:30, 3 hours into it or whatever, the whole place was so packed. I couldn't imagine they could fit anybody else in. But when I went out to meet my ride, the line went out. It split in two, and it went all the way around the building. It was crazy. Yeah. Sunday, not so much. Big difference, but Saturday was crazy. Yeah. They said that the Lord of the Rings and what was the other guy? Shoot. I can't remember. Lord of the Rings and somebody else they said was the big draw. Damn, sorry, dude. You don't need my help, bro. You're already
you had a line. You had a line on Saturday. You're fine.
Yeah,
I
but
saw
anyway,
you got a picture with the artist Hal Haney. He does a lot of pro wrestling artwork and stuff like that.
The graphics he made for this video game that he's got going are incredible.
Right? I know. They're awesome.
It looks like an action figure, totally like start-stop animation with action figure or something. But the action looks better than that because it's not choppy, but it's amazing, and so hopefully there won't be any confusion between that and Virtual Basement, which is a complete different game that everyone's been working on for a long time, where the wrestlers actually wore the sensors and the motion capture device suits, and so he's got all of us wrestlers doing our own moves and stuff. That's one game that's been on table for a long time, and I just started talking to Hell about this new one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. UPW, I know there's a lot of Candidos on there. Blue Meanie was announced. Rats announced. It'll be interesting to see where it all develops. A lot of his original artwork and original creations are on there. So
it looks badass.
Badass, man. Badass.
Yeah. It's got some special things to it that I won't talk about yet, but some really cool additional features.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Cool. Well, what do you got going on that you can plug or anything? Anything you want to get out there to the universe before we wrap it up here for this week?
It looks like I got a little bit of personal time. Where am I? I was going to be in Detroit, but now I was going to be in Orlando, but now it might be Chicago. That's is that July 25th? I don't know. Today I just got booked at Tulsa, Oklahoma Con, and that's August 5th and 6th. Got a couple other bookings I can't talk about yet. And a deposition date that's really taken a lot of my mind space.
You just
Can't wait. I can't wait. It's been a long time coming.
Hell yeah, man. Take those little W's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
But that's still like 3 weeks. Well, at least, I don't know. It keeps changing and stuff. So I'll still see you a few times before I get to do that and get the truth out there and get this gnat off my nuts.
That'll be nice, man.
Yeah.
Dust it off your agenda there. So sweet. Cool. Well, guys.
Oh, also Saturday I'm doing stand-up. I keep forgetting, but I'm doing stand-up.
Wise Guys, right?
Boom.
Wise Guys. If you're in
Wise
Vegas,
Guys.
look it up. Guys.
It's down here. It's downtown, like by the art district. Saturday, I'll post some posters.
Is anybody else on the show with you? Is it?
Yeah, no, there is some of the guys. Tim Chismar. What's the big Alec? What's his last name? There's a really, really big heavyset dude that's like does all the comedy shows here in Vegas. And he's gonna watch this and say, "Well, thanks for the plug. You don't know my name, but
Alex something."
Yeah, Alex. Right.
There we go. Dos Wonder Kid's gonna be there, guys.
Yeah.
Get ready for it. Okay, guys. So yeah, if you want more content, obviously go to the Premier Streaming Network if you want to get this video early, full video early, every Friday at 4:20 p.m. But
it's oh my God, Alex Kool-Aid Ansel. That's right, Ansel. Can you see the poster? Probably not. I don't. Oh wait, I can see.
I see you. Yeah.
I'm the one. I'm the one in the corner down there.
Right, yeah. All right.
So this is happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll write a set probably Saturday afternoon. Hopefully I'll start thinking about it Friday. That's how I do, yo.
That's how you roll. That's how you do it, man. Sweet.
Gotta get prepared. Well, I got texts, man. Don't y'all know I'm doing a podcast?
Blowing on up. You're blowing up. Well, guys, yeah, if you want to check out some clips, go to rvdpod.com. We got a whole bunch of clips from previous episodes coming on. And then you might have a little bit more coming up here. Well, I'll wait to get the official word on that. But follow Rob at The Real RVD, both on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter if you'd like, at Dominic DeAngelo. And, hey, I'm on Threads too, but I won't plug that yet. We'll see if that picks up.
Hit like, subscribe, do comments, fight with each other, argue with each other.
Yes. Give us any kind of feedback. You rip on me all you want. I don't care. I'm fine with it.
Funny when they start arguing with each other, and like someone will get offended like so quickly,
right?
And just start. I never said that. Why did you say you said that? It's just whoa.
Pump the brakes here, guys. This is the internet.
You're both pretty.
Right. You're both pretty.
Girls, you're both pretty. I love that line.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you next week here.
Good chat again, brother.
Yes,
Appreciate
good.
you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you too, Rob. We'll see you
Yes,
guys
sir.
next week here on
YouTube, Christoph.
I was waiting for some kind of sign, some kind of indication I was wasting my time. I got myself about